What's going on, YouTube? Jedi from Jedi Reviews here. Came home from work. It's a little bit late at night. Hopefully you can hear me well enough. Some folks are sleeping here in the house. But picked a little something up today that I wanted to do a review on, and then I remembered there were a couple items that I didn't review the last time that I wanted to. Now we're going to get right back into some Star Wars toys. I've subscribed to a couple of different YouTubers in the Star Wars collectible arena. Um, to give you a quick rundown of their names, I'd have to go right back and look at it again. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of the airsoft stuff since I started my own company with my partner Scapegoat. But what we're going to talk about is, basically I love the figures. Okay, and back before we had this economy went to crap and I was laid off, and sold a lot of my collection. Some of my stuff I kept, and it was very sporadic what I decided to keep. Some of them were my clone troopers and stormtroopers. I kept a little bit of my vintage stuff that I had that was loose, and we're just going to cover a couple of them right now. So let me pan down here a little bit. Hopefully I've got the focus and everything's my second take, so bear with me. Okay. Alright, now the first figure we're going to talk about, and I cannot remember which battalion this guy is from. You guys are going to have to remind me. They're in that goldish yellow color, and this is, I believe he's a clone commander, hence the command skirt. And one of my sons has lost a blaster pistol there. It's just common in this house. One of the things I really want to talk about right off the bat with these figures is I don't tend to like the removable helmet, and the reason is if you keep them on their card, that's great. But one of the things that tends to happen, and then we'll set the helmet down here on the laptop, if I can get up here close enough you can tell. You notice how we're getting some paint wear right there on the hairline? Oh, it's on this side. Remember, I'm doing everything backwards. This comes from the removal and the placing back on of the rubber helmet. They did do a little bit better with these figures when they scaled the helmet down just a tad bit, and I think that's what causes it. Because with the removable helmets in the beginning, the head looked abnormally large, and this is something that they've done a little bit better with as the collections go on. I just wanted to give you a good view of this guy here. So some of you guys kind of send me a message and remind me of which battalion this is. This brings me right on line with something that really just irks me just a tad bit. And years ago, when I was younger, I collected Batman comics and Spider-Man comics. Now, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when comic collecting got huge, it became a money-making enterprise, and this took away from collectors' abilities to get things that they wanted because of the skyrocketing prices. And then what they ended up doing was just killing the value of comics altogether. Now you can get them for next to nothing. So now it's back to us guys who just like to read them. Another thing that killed me on the comic collecting was there are like umpteen million different titles of Batman now, and it's almost impossible to keep up with it. It becomes a huge cost. So I've kind of gotten away from that as well. And the same thing is happening to our beloved Star Wars figures. And it's something that I'm going to talk about in another video after I'm done with this one. So yeah, I just want to give you a real quick look at this guy here. And somebody tell me which battalion he's from or which commander he is, because I just simply can't remember. This next piece is one of my favorite pieces of the 12-inch line, and obviously somebody's going to send me a comment and say he's obviously not 12 inches tall, but as we all know, Master Yoda is slightly smaller than all other characters, but this is the 12-inch Yoda, although he is only a mere 4 to 5 inches tall. But when you place him up against the 12-inch characters of Luke and Han and everybody else, then he's right on par for his scale. I picked this figure up loose at a store in Owensboro called Collector's Mall. And I sold some of my collectibles there at Collector's Mall in Owensboro. And I like to think of this guy as the pawn shop of collectibles. He wants to buy low and sell high, and sometimes the guy will just absolutely rake you over the coals. So if you go in there, make sure that you know what it is you're looking for, you know what the value is, and if you're going to sell your collectibles, be wise when you do it. I picked this Yoda up, and I think he cost me like maybe $10 or $11 loose, but the reason that I picked him up was because he's 110% complete. The paint on it is immaculate, and he has his Gimmer stick, and there's no paint wear on him whatsoever. And if you get close up here, the detail on this particular Yoda is amazing, right down to his eyes. I don't know if this webcam's going to show it or not, but from the wrinkles in his brow to his complexion and the different colors of greens that were used, it's just totally amazing. You can tell right here on the back of his head. And underneath here, of course, the 12-inch Yoda did not have separate legs that moved. He's one solid piece, as you can tell from the bottom. But he's basically meant to just stand there. His robe's in great shape. He also has his utility belt here, as you can see. Everything is there, and this is one of my favorite pieces. A good friend of mine, Chris Gordon, that I worked with at IAC in Madisonville, is a huge Yoda fan, and he came over one day to show me all these new figures that he picked up, and when I showed him this one, he just turned green with envy, because Master Yoda is like his hero, as he is mine, and it's just a great figure, and I thought I'd like to show that to you guys. Now, in the 3 3/4 inch scale from the Revenge of the Sith, we have the Master Yoda on this little platform. I think this is part of the senatorial kind of thing. It does move him up and down, as you can see, as it turns. You have the force effect right here, which holds onto a piece on the back, which breaks loose, and you basically put it inside here, and it looks as if he's levitating that piece of stone to throw it. Sidious. But the detail of this Master Yoda, and one of the things, and I don't know why Hasbro's gotten away from it, but on certain figures the hilt of the lightsaber is metal. Some of the figure lines back in the day had magnetic pieces inside their hands to simulate, pulling the saber to you kind of thing. But I like the metal hilt lightsabers. And of course the blade comes out and you can store it someplace else, and some of them will allow you to hang them on their belt. But this is just I can't let Yoda go. Yoda stays with Daddy. So I want you to see that one's pretty cool. And I think this is from the Target line, that you couldn't get it at Walmart. You had to get it at Target. Now that's another thing about collecting Star Wars that's really starting to tick me off, is how you have Walmart and you have Target, and they're at war with each other constantly. So you have to go to one store, like to get the Scorch figure was a Walmart exclusive, then the Grievous was a Target exclusive. You had the different cards. It just makes it, expensive and hard for you to keep up with things. What I picked up today is the Vintage Collection Commander Cody, and the one that I had before was the Saga Collection. Of course, I sold him a while back, and he didn't have half the accessories that this one does. This one, of course, on the back it shows you the Saga Collection card. This is how it looked then, and then down here you'll see these are the Target cards. Okay, all these are the Target cards. None of the Walmart cards look like this. They all look like this one. So this is a nice representation of how the cards looked back when I was a kid. And this little thing right here, we're going to talk about this on a different video. This is what sticks in my craw, and we're going to talk about this. And then what we'll do is we're going to take him out of his package, and for the next video we'll unbox him and free him from his confines of his package, commit the carnal sin, and I'll have him on my shelf and put Cody where he needs to be, home with Daddy. So this is the Jedi from Jedi Reviews. I hope you enjoyed watching this. We're going to go more in depth on this later as I talk about this. So we'll have the figure out of the box, and we'll get some close-ups and stuff. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next one.